Asher returned to the house and took a bath to relax his body. He was a bit of a clean freak. I hope you find the kid soon, Asher thought, remembering the conversation with Emmy in the car. It was nearly 5 in the evening and there was still quite a bit of time, so Asher decided to do his mana training while waiting for dinner. Tell them I am doing mana training, if anyone asks, he said to his other maid as Emmy was busy with the task he had given her. He later moved to the backyard area of the mansion. There was a one-floor building that was quite big. This was the training area of the Greville family. It was covered with mana runes all over it. Even though they were not as good as the Mage Association's ones, they were still the best you could get with money and power. Only a few people and SSS rank hunters enjoyed this privilege. Asher sat down and moved the mana around his body. His mana was black. His previous mana color used to be blue, but it changed after his new bloodline. The black hue covered his whole body and started to leak into the surroundings. Asher activated his mana flow skill and started to collect all the black hue tightly to his body, covering it like armor. This was the first step in creating aura. Aura is the mana that covers your body and strengthens your muscles. All weapon-wielding hunters practice their aura to their limits. Even mages practice their aura, but their application of it is different. Because Asher was still at the peak of G rank right now, he could not hold his aura for long. But activating his passive skill allowed him to hold it a little longer than others. He was rapidly decreasing his mana core reserves and filling them from the surrounding at the same time. Although it may sound easy, without his mana flow skill, nobody, even Asher, would not be able to practice such methods. He continued the same for more than 4 more hours and came out drenched in sweat. He immediately went to take a shower and came out after 10 minutes. Young master, the dinner is ready, the other maid informed him. Both of his parents were waiting for him at the table. I will be there in a minute, Asher told her and moved to his room. He knew his parents were going to ask him to practice sword arts and train before going to the dungeon next time, but he was not too bothered by it. He left his room after changing his bathrobe for comfortable clothes. He arrived at the dinner table and saw Arthur, who was grinning at him. He was very excited to see the reports of Asher given by Emmy. I knew it. My son was a genius in swords as well, Arthur said, even though he was sad that Asher started a bit later than others. But it was still fine because his overwhelming talent could easily make up for a few years. Ash, I saw the reports of the dungeon hunt today, Sylvie spoke up first. She had a normal expression and the usual motherly face was nowhere to be found. I am happy to see you were so exceptional in today's hunt, but you know that without proper training, such acts can result in major mishaps, she said. Asher listened quietly and waited for her to finish, then spoke. Don't worry, Mom. Emmy was with me and if I believe I can do something, it means I can do it. I've already proved it to you guys multiple times. Though business and being a hunter are separate fields, I know my limits well. He rested his case a bit arrogantly, but what he said was true. Ads by Pub Future. From a young age, he had always performed well in whatever task he took on. And his parents knew it well. Sigh, Sylvie, don't worry too much. We shouldn't stop his ambitions, Arthur consoled her, looking a bit sad. But his inner battle freak side was excited to see his son's actions. Okay, fine. I will train if grandfather comes and trains me personally, contemporary romance. And I want to enter dungeons alone after the training. I will only enter F-rank dungeons, so there's no need to worry, Asher said before his mother could question him further. Sylvie stared at Asher for a few seconds, but then decided to settle on these conditions. Fine. If you do your training, I will not stop you, Sylvie said, although she was reluctant to agree. She knew that in this world, only the strong ruled. Even though there were laws, nobody would go after a powerful person for killing a weak and powerless one. Okay, enough of this topic. Amelia and Damien are coming back right before your birthday party, Arthur said, breaking the silence. Coincidentally, their academic term is ending early and she performed quite well on her exams, so she can now enter the World Academy at the same time as you and Damien, Arthur told Asher. Asher smirked to himself after hearing his words. He knew Amelia would come right before his birthday party, and some guests would be coming with her as well. How could I be a bad host and not serve my guests well? Don't worry, I will go and pick her up from the airport, Asher replied to Arthur. Oh, Damien will be happy to see you after such a long time. I remember he was still reluctant to leave his only best friend behind to go with Amelia, Sylvie said to Asher and smiled. Asher just shook his head at Sylvie's remark. I didn't mention that you did your awakening to her. She will be quite surprised to hear this news, Arthur said to Asher, remembering his conversation with his daughter. Asher finished his dinner and wrapped up the talk with his parents. He went to his room and checked his phone for some time. He opened the Pixtagram app and opened a private profile. He tapped follow and waited for a few minutes before seeing that the person accepted his request. He opened the profile and saw multiple sketches of nature and cute drawings of kids playing around. It seemed like whoever the person was, they liked this sort of art and drew it beautifully as well. Asher took his time to see all of these sketches. He messaged that person. Less than I am bored 20 greater than your art is beautiful. Less than pink, nature greater than okay. Less than I am bored 20 greater than will you do a sketch for me. Less than pink, nature greater than depends. Less than I am bored 20 greater than maybe a black cat with a pink cat in a lazy background. Less than pink, nature greater than I charge but. Less than I am bored 20 greater than I will pay don't worry. Less than pink, nature greater than pay first then, greater than link, pay. He chuckled at the response but sent 10k or to the link. Less than pink, nature greater than give me your pay link. Less than I am bored 20 greater than y. Less than pink, nature greater than you added to, 0, by mistake. Less than I am bored 20 greater than no, I did not. Less than pink, nature greater than. Less than I am bored 20 greater than. Less than pink, nature greater than okay your painting will be done soon. Less than pink, nature greater than thanks. Sending the last message whoever less than pink, nature greater than went offline. Asher laughed at the response and closed his eyes to get some good sleep. 2 weeks have passed, and Asher's birthday is only 2 weeks away. It was early in the morning, and he had just woken up, so he decided to do his mana training after having breakfast. He continued training for 5 hours and, when he came out, it was 12 in the afternoon. He found Emmy waiting outside the training grounds for him. Young master, we have found the kid with a nearly similar description to the one you described, but the information is not exactly the same. According to the information you gave me, this kid was supposed to be an orphan with no family members. But he has a twin sister, Emmy told Asher. Sister? Asher asked, surprised by this new information. Yes, according to the report, this kid has a sister, although she is quite ill and usually stays at home, Emmy said while pulling out a hologram projection from her watch. This kid has committed murder, theft, and many more things. Although he used all the money to treat his sister, he is quite weird. He is 10 years old and, although they live in not so privileged surroundings, he has managed to survive. The way he carries himself is quite similar to you, young master. And his eyes, no wonder you found him quite similar to me, didn't you? Asher asked calmly. Forgive me, young master. I don't mean to doubt the integrity of the head of the house. Emmy got on her knees and waited for Asher's response. Get up. Although this kid has similar traits to the Greville family, he is not my father's child. But you are not wrong, he is indeed a Greville, like me, Asher responded. How? Emmy muttered softly to herself. Although she believed that Arthur would never cheat on Sylvie, she was a maid who came to the Greville house with Sylvie, and her loyalty to her was greater than her loyalty to Arthur. So, seeds of doubt began to arise when she saw the kid with the traits of the Greville family. You are forgetting that there used to be another person like my father in this family, Asher said, clearing the clouds from her mind. No way. Emmy was shocked. Yes, they are Eva Greville's children. We are going to go meet them. Emmy, make sure this news does not reach anyone else, no matter who, until I say so, Asher said with a hint of coldness in his voice. Yes, young master, Emmy immediately replied. Let's go, Asher told Emmy as he moved towards his room to shower and get ready to go out. He wore a white jacket over a black t-shirt, black jeans, and got in his car, Contemporary Romance. Tell the security to not follow us when we are in the vicinity of those kids, Asher told her. He didn't want any chances of information leaking out. Ads by Pub Future. Should I drive? Emmy asked Asher for confirmation. No need, Asher said in a bored voice. The driver was ready to move out of the car, but when he heard Asher, he was a bit delighted. He was a 40-year-old man who worked to provide for his family, but he was not married and only provided money for his sister's kids. He had been driving for Asher since he was 5 years old and was glad to see that Asher trusted him enough. Asher didn't really think much about this. His driver was the one who sacrificed his life in his previous life when he was weak and targeted by many people. He was sure that there would be no issues with him regarding information leaks. They were moving out of Soren and heading towards the border area of Soren. The people who lived there were those who could not afford city life. They were some people who had lost arms and could no longer go into dungeons to make money, or orphans whose parents died in dungeons. Although laws were followed in such places as well, they were quite lax compared to cities. Murder and crimes were rare occurrences, but unless you were caught, you were pretty much a free soul in such areas. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Inside an underground bunker filled with various machinery and weapons, there were two men gathered around a person whose whole body was filled with black veins. He looked like a mess. His whole body is experiencing mana rejection. If this goes on, he will surely die, a man in a white lab coat told the man standing beside him. The man beside him had black hair and red eyes. He had several bandages wrapped around his waist and their cut marks on his forearms. His condition looked like he just fought a hard battle. Nate, do you know a method to save him? The man asked. I can't. Asher's mana core is broken. He overchanneled his mana in the fight with the association. I told this bastard to wait for a few more years to fight that man, but he never listened to me. Nate's voice was full of anger and concern. Wait, I can rebuild his mana core with my bloodline ability. The man beside him replied. Lucas, are you out of your goddamn mind? Nate shouted at him. Fixing his mana core, which is already broken, will result in you emptying your own mana core until there's nothing left. This is not like your own core where you can just rely on your ability to channel nearly unlimited mana, Nate tried to convince Lucas before he did something stupid. Doesn't matter. I have already experienced losing my loved ones once. Not again. Lucas stared right into Nate's eyes. What do you mean by before? Nate asked, as he knew Lucas was an orphan, and his mother died when he was too young to remember. Shut up and concentrate on Asher now, Lucas said as he started channeling his own mana into Asher's core, trying to fix it. Lucas's eyes started losing focus, but he continued fixing Asher's core. His mind was getting dizzy. Emptying your mana core meant destroying your mana heart and using up every bit of your lifespan. Lucas, you can still stop. We can find some other way to fix him. Nate couldn't bear to watch his friend die. And what way? Will he live that long? Lucas said, seeing a blurry figure of Nate. But you know Asher is not stable. If even you die now, it will be up to me to take care of him. I am not confident that I will be able to keep Asher sane. He might just destroy this world if nobody kept tabs on his mental health, Nate said reluctantly. But he knew that Asher was no longer the same. He overclocked his mental capability to handle mana, and though it gave him immense power, his gradual loss of sanity was concerning. Even though I met Asher long after that incident, he stopped but continued. You and I both know that Asher changed after that day. Maybe he didn't change, he just unleashed his true self, but that doesn't mean I will leave him like that sister of his. Lucas said, barely maintaining his consciousness. Hearing the mention of that woman, Nate remembered the death of his brother. Don't blame her too much, Lucas. My brother died that day, but if he was given another chance, he would still do it. She was just manipulated by that Rothschild bitch. His eyes burned with fury as he spoke. Asher's body was slowly getting rid of the black veins. His mana core was slowly fixing itself. Lucas's body was slowly losing its color. Blood was dripping from his eyes and nose. He was going to die soon. Nate, don't let the world know about my death. Just destroy my body right here after my death. Asher will need time, and my existence will give him the time he needs. Even though I am still weaker than him, nobody will openly attack us until they know I am dead, Lucas muttered to Nate, his eyes unable to see anymore. He was using his senses to transfer the mana to fix Asher's core. Nate didn't reply, but Lucas knew he would comply with his wishes. Asher's body was now devoid of any black veins. Although he was still in a deep coma, his life was no longer in danger. He would still need some time to wake up. That was the day Lucas von Greville left the world. The car arrived at the outskirts of Soren, and people were startled to see such an expensive car. Many of them immediately started to disperse, not wanting to be involved with anyone of high status. Asher and Emmy got out of the car and started walking towards their destination, passing by many one-story houses packed closely together, connected by multiple alleyways. As they kept walking, Asher saw many small children running around and playing with each other. Although life was tough, these kids had already adapted to it. They eventually arrived at the end of an alleyway, where Asher saw a one-story house with cracks in its walls. Emmy walked up to the house and nodded to Asher, signaling that this was their destination. Ping! Quest issued. Asher saw the details and accepted the quest without giving it much thought and closed the interface. Asher moved forward towards the house, but suddenly a child, who looked to be less than 10 years old, appeared in front of him. The child had black hair and sharp red eyes, and looked a bit similar to Asher. Do you need anything, sir? The child asked calmly. What is your name? Asher asked. My name is Lucas. Do you need anything from me? Lucas knew that the person in front of him was rich, just by seeing his clothes and manners. He had done many crimes and knew that answering him calmly and not agitating someone like him would be in his best interest. Although he was a young child, his life and circumstances had made him mature beyond his peers. I see. Can we talk inside your house? Asher asked, showing no emotion on his face. Lucas was troubled by this request. If he were alone, he would have had no problem inviting them in, but his ill sister was also there, and he did not want to bring her into any trouble. Seeing his hesitation, Asher decided to calm him down. Don't worry, we are not here to harm you or your sister, he said, openly letting Lucas know that he already knew about him. Hearing this, Lucas was alerted, but he did not make any moves. He knew that the other party already knew about him, and the fact that they had not attacked him yet made him believe Asher a bit. Okay, you can come in, Lucas said, leading them inside his house. Ads by Pub Future. The interior of the house was covered with grey tiles, and the room was a bit hot. The walls were painted a dull blue shade, and the only window was cracked and covered with a piece of cardboard. Despite its small size, it was enough for 2 kids to live in. There were 2 beds on the edge of the room, and on one of them lay a little girl with black hair, sleeping. She had a pale complexion, and her rough breathing could be heard across the room. Lucas saw Asher and remembered what his mother had written in her diary just before she died, when he was 4 years old. She had mentioned a big family with the same hair color and eyes as him, and she had warned her kids not to look for them unless they came for them. She had said that there were many families that did not like illegitimate children, and since she had never mentioned their father, she had been pregnant with his kids before he died. She knew that her only support was gone, so she decided to raise her kids on her own rather than risk their lives by going to the Greville family. You know that you and your sister carry the blood of the Greville family, right? Asher asked him with his usual indifferent face. Lucas could not tell what Asher was thinking because he never showed any changes in his expression. He was nervous because of his mother's warning, but he decided to answer him regardless. Yes, Lucas nodded in response to Asher's question. Then why did you? Amy started to question Lucas, but stopped when she saw Asher stop her. You had a reason, right? Asher waited for Lucas's response. Lucas was quiet for a moment, but then decided to narrate what his mother had told him and warned them to be careful not to reveal their origins. His mother, while on her deathbed, had forgotten that they might not be able to survive on their own in this cruel world. Her mentality was already weak from raising 2 kids alone. It was very difficult for a single mother with no support to afford and protect them. She had moved to the outskirts of Soren to get away from city life, where everyone knew about the Greville family. She had always believed in not using Ivar Greville for his money and had waited for him to marry her. Although she had felt insecure about Ivar's background and fame, her love for him had given her some strength. When she learned of Ivar's death, the fear that her children, the only proof of her and Ivar's love, would die scared her. A woman alone, raising 2 kids with her shattered mentality, never imagined that she would die early, leaving her 2 kids behind and alone. The fear clouded her mind, and her judgment led Lucas to never meet the Greville family in Asher's previous life. Lucas had also been thinking about reaching out to the Greville family to save his sister, but he had decided to wait for 2 more months before risking it. His perspective on the Greville family was negative, as he had followed what was written in his mother's diary from a young age. So you decided to contact us in 2 months to save your sister? Asher asked Lucas. Listening to his response, Lucas nodded his head. But she will die in a week, Asher said with his usual indifferent voice. Hearing this, Lucas's face turned pale. His heartbeat quickened, and his hands were trembling. He had done many things to save his sister up until now, such as killing small gangsters stealthily to rob them, stealing money and other necessities. Although he had been caught stealing a few times, he had just endured the beatings and kept doing these acts. Hearing that all his efforts were going to waste, and that his sister was going to die soon, scared the young child. Can you save my sister? I'll do anything you say. I can do any dirty work for you. Lucas was heavily breathing. Less than quest issued greater than. Objective. Save Lucas's sister Livia. Rewards. 500 fate points, levels +5. Penalty. Lucas' loyalty will become 0. Do you want to accept this quest, YN? Calm down, you don't need to worry about her. Don't forget you are a Greville, never, I repeat never lower yourself in front of anyone. Asher told him with his eyes exuding coldness, but strangely it didn't scare Lucas. Even without this quest, I was going to save her anyway, Asher thought in his mind. Quest added to the Quest tab. Ping. Less than quest completed greater than. Objective, get Lucas to follow you. Rewards, item duplicate X1, rank limit none, 2500 fate points. Asher smirked at the amount of fate points he received. Contemporary romance. This guy really is my lucky star, Asher thought while looking at young Lucas. In the middle of a dense forest, many camps could be seen. Various structures had been built for the accommodation of people. This was the temporary base of the Abyss Guild, located in the lost lands of Somaria. Various people could be seen transporting huge monster corpses through the established teleportation gate. Several people covered in armor and blood were resting after a probably tiring exploration. A mile ahead, a man in his 40s could be seen resting on a big rock with a reddish greatsword resting beside him. Guildmaster, Vice Guildmaster Arthur has contacted you, a man wearing armor reported to Nathan Greville. Oh, and why has that damn son of mine, who clearly hates me for handing him all that paperwork, contacted me now? Nathan said with his eyes still closed. He has invited you to your grandchild Asher Greville's 14th birthday party, the man replied. Did nobody tell him that this old man is exploring a damn SS rank dungeon? Why the hell would I have any time to attend such things? Nathan said, ignoring everything his guild member had just said. Guildmaster, he has sent a video message for you. The man said, playing the recorded voice. A hologram appeared, showing Arthur sitting in his office. Father, I know you will probably ignore the invite, so I will not force you, Arthur said. Yeah, that's how you should behave, you crazy bastard, Nathan thought, contemporary romance. Don't worry about Asher, he will just be sad, so I will support him in his tough times. Please handle all the guild work yourself because I will have to resign regretfully, the hologram said before closing. Nathan opened his eyes, which were gleaming dangerously. This fucking brat dares to leave that huge pile of paperwork to this fragile old man. He said, with two veins popping on his forehead. How are you fragile? The guild member thought, not having enough courage to say it to Nathan's face. Tell all the guild members I will be out for 2 weeks and tell them to stay away from the vicinity of the dungeon for the meantime, Nathan said. Boom! Nathan jumped off the big stone, leaving a crater behind. It seems I haven't beaten him enough to fix that battle maniac head of his. Nathan scoffed while darting off towards Soren at an incredibly high speed. Sigh, but you could have used the teleportation gate, the guild member left behind said, watching Nathan take off towards Soren. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Lucas was overwhelmed with emotions as he saw Asher appear. He was a young 10-year-old who had experienced difficult times, and he worried that Asher and his sister might be harmed. However, when he heard Asher's response, he was relieved. Who are these people, Lucas? His weak twin sister, Livia, asked as she opened her crimson-red eyes. Smiling face casual date is just a click away. Ads by Pub Future. They are people who will take us with them and treat you well, Lucas told her directly. What? Livia jumped out of her bed. Don't worry, I will explain everything to you, Lucas said as he calmed his sister. This is my twin sister, Livia, Lucas introduced her to Asher and Emmy. Liv, they are from the family our father was from. Lucas explained to her so she could understand the situation. What? But mother said to stay away from them, Livia said as she hid her head under the thin bedsheet. Don't worry, I am here to take you to the place you deserve to live, Asher spoke before Lucas could explain further. However, Asher's indifferent face did not help much in this situation. Livia was even more terrified of Asher now. She looked at Lucas, asking him for help. Lucas moved closer to her and she whispered to him. Are you sure they will not hurt us? Livia worried about her and her brother's safety. Don't worry, if he wanted to harm us, he would have done it already. Lucas tried to calm his sister down. Lucas was strangely comfortable with Asher, even though nobody in their right mind would think of being with Asher as comfortable in any way. He always radiated an, don't trouble me, aura, and his cold demeanor kept people from getting close to him. Livia was a bit shorter than Lucas, and her body was weak due to an unknown illness. She was a bit more normal for her age than Lucas, since most of her time was spent lying in bed and chatting with Lucas. Her eyes were innocent, unlike Lucas's sharp eyes, which were a bit like Asher's. Although Lucas's face was not as emotionless as Ash's, the way he carried himself was a bit like Asher. His rough life until now had made him let go of any emotions like guilt and remorse. All that mattered to Lucas was his goal of taking care of his sick sister. I am Asher Greville, the current heir of the Greville family and your cousin. Your father, as you know, was the little brother of my father and his name was Ivor Greville. Asher introduced himself in an attempt to calm Livia a bit. He did not know how to behave in front of children. I will tell you more about your father and introduce you to the rest of the family later. But right now, we need to leave this area. You might not know it, but your condition is quite serious and you need to be treated as soon as possible. Asher explained their situation to them. After hearing this, Lucas and Livia looked at each other and nodded, signaling their approval. Asher turned to Emmy, who was standing there watching their interaction. He told her to carry Livia to the car, as she might not be able to walk properly in her condition. Lucas followed behind Asher, keeping his distance to Livia short in order to assist her whenever she needed his help. Asher didn't mind Lucas' behavior and was confident that after saving Livia, she would trust and follow him faithfully. When they arrived at the front of Asher's Rolls Royce, both Lucas and Livia were surprised to see such a fancy and cool car. They had only ever seen hunter vehicles in their area and luxury vehicles like this were new to them. Lucas sat quietly, but Livia, who was in Emmy's arm, was looking around the car with shining eyes. She seemed to really like the car and, seeing this, Asher spoke to her, "Don't worry, you can have even better cars from now on." His words surprised Livia, who stopped looking around the car, embarrassed by her behavior. Although she never demanded anything from Lucas, as she knew how hard he worked to take care of her, even Lucas was surprised to see his sister react this way. The car began moving in the direction of the Greville mansion, taking its time so that the kids could calm their nerves and enjoy the ride. Asher thought to himself, I can use the item duplicate on the healing elixir and use it on Livia, saving the other one for future use. He remembered the rewards for his quest this time and asked the system. Can I buy these item duplicate things from the shop? No. Some quest rewards are unique and cannot be obtained again or purchased from the shop tab. Asher reminded himself, I need to be careful handling unique items in the future. Asher called out to the system in his mind, status. Fate Devourer System. Name, Asher von Raven Greville. Level 2, EXP 0, 2000. Bloodline, Devil's Absorption Rank SSS. Blessing, Goddess of Time, Sealed. Body Constitution, Mana Core Rank A. Shop Quests, Synthesis. Attributes. Strength, 32. Agility, 27. Endurance, 40. Intelligence, 55. Mana, 45. Stamina, 40. Charm, 57. Fate, 2730. AP, 5. SP, 2. Skills, Time Dilution, Rank S, LVL1. Absorption, Rank S, LVL1. Ash Sword Art, Rank C. Mana Flow, Rank C. How much fate do I need to unlock the shop tab? Asher asked the system in his mind. Host needs to gather 10,000 fate points to unlock shop tab. Quite a large amount to gather, Asher told himself. And with this I can stop grandfather from going back. Asher was relieved. Convincing Nathan Greville was really annoying task. And now with Lucas and Livia, he could use them as a purpose to stall him for 2 more weeks. Asher and the twins arrived at the Greville estate. They were both amazed by the huge mansion. On the way to the mansion, they passed through the lands of the Greville family and saw multiple gardens and other attractions that created a feeling of calm and serene environment. They noticed that, despite the estate being large and spacious, the security was tight and did not allow any kind of trespassing. Livia had her mouth open the whole time. The small girl sprang up on the seat with her knees bent and stared at everything they drove past on the way to the mansion. It seemed that she had forgotten about Asher's presence. Lucas was also excited to see such things, but he kept to himself and only stared out the window from his seat. At some point, Livia finally snapped back to reality and looked back at her own actions. She became embarrassed and started fidgeting with her fingers. Oh God, they will think of me as an unruly girl now. Her thoughts were racing, not even realizing that the car had stopped and they had reached their destination. They arrived at the mansion and Asher got out of the car with Lucas, leaving the embarrassed Livia in Emmy's care. Lucas was happy to see his sister showing so much emotion. Even though Lucas tried to provide everything for her health and well-being, not having a parent figure and his absence for long periods of time had dulled her emotions significantly. She used to be very energetic when she was young, but after their mother's early death and her own illness with an unknown disease at the age of 6, it had taken a lot out of her. She was only able to stay home and, not knowing where Lucas was for days at a time, thoughts of losing her only brother and being all alone crossed her mind often. However, she was unable to even get out of bed to help Lucas. Emmy, take both of them for a bath and have them changed into clean clothes. Assign a maid to them and tell her to treat them as if they were treating me. Asher walked towards his room, leaving the twins with Emmy, who was taking them to guest rooms on the first floor. Many servants were surprised to see the twins and their eye color. Random thoughts crossed their minds, but nobody voiced them. They were experienced workers and knew that careless words could cost them their lives. Emmy assigned 2 maids to take care of the twins and warned them to serve the twins carefully and tolerate no rudeness. Lucas and Livia were wearing dirty white t-shirts and black shorts. Their appearance was also not clean. Livia's hair was a mess and Lucas had a lot of small wounds on his stomach and back. Although there were some scars, unless they were caused by an attack powered by mana, they could be healed with special potions. The maids took them to a huge circular bath and gave them new underwear to wash them properly. Lucas was a bit embarrassed to be washed by others in his underwear, but he did not complain. Livia, on the other hand, was staring at the huge bath with her mouth open while the maid was washing her hair. She still could not believe what had happened to her and Lucas. She was scared of being in this new place, which was so big and beautiful, even better than her dream castle, but her innocent excitement took over her fears. Smiling face casual date is just a click away. Ads by Pub Future. Wow. She opened her mouth at the sight of the luxurious bath. Some of the shampoo fell into her mouth and she made a weird face, which made Lucas and the other maid washing him start chuckling. Seeing their reaction, Livia was again embarrassed. The sheer number of times her face had turned red today was more than in her whole life. After a good bath, their faces could be seen more clearly now. For now, they were given Asher's and his sister's old clothes to wear. Asher had already told them that he would take them shopping after today. Although the clothes were old, they still seemed too soft and expensive to the twins. It was the summer season in Soren. Asher came out of his room and changed into more comfortable clothes. He called the twins downstairs to give them a little tour of the mansion so they could get familiar with their new surroundings. He saw the kids coming down with Emmy. After a good bath and changing their clothes, their inherited attractiveness was already showing. Lucas inherited his father Ivar's facial features, and he also looked like Lucas when he was young. Asher had seen various pictures of Ivar in the family album and he could already see the similarities. Livia also looked very cute in her white hoodie and pants, and she seemed to take after her mom. Just by looking at her, you could imagine how beautiful their mother was. Contemporary romance. Both of you look good now. Do you want to take a tour? Asher told them. Livia was still a little bit uncomfortable with his indifferent look, but she nodded at his question nevertheless. She was holding on to Emmy, and her crimson red eyes seemed to stand out on her pale face. Emmy took Livia in her arms. Although Livia wanted to say she would like to walk, she allowed Emmy to carry her like a small child all around. But her cheeks were still red. Lucas wore a branded t-shirt and trousers that complemented his looks quite a bit. He and Livia followed Asher as he introduced the ground floor to them. He introduced the large kitchen with many chefs who were preparing dishes for them. Asher signaled for them to give the kids some snacks. He took them to various rooms, each with its own purpose. It took them 20 minutes to see the various places in the manor. This place is so big. Even the smallest room is bigger than our house, Livia said to Lucas while still admiring it. Lucas just smiled at her. He was a bit worried about her health as she was taxing her body a lot, but he did not stop her. Follow Emmy. She will show you your new rooms and will assign some maids to take care of Livia. I will introduce you guys to my parents later, Asher said while patting Lucas's head. The twins were a bit worried about meeting Asher's parents, but he did say he would let them live with him, so they relaxed a bit. Lucas didn't mind working under Asher as a servant as long as his sister was taken care of. You guys can play around a bit and go to sleep. We will meet my parents tomorrow. Asher left them to go to the training ground. Smiling face casual date is just a click away. The twins followed Emmy and got to their new rooms. Lucas wanted to stay with Livia, but Emmy convinced him that he could stay with her until night, but he still should get his own room. Liv, are you fine? Lucas was worried as he heard Asher say that she would die by the end of this month. Although he did not know how Asher knew it, he believed him nevertheless. Don't worry, I am just a bit tired. But if they try to force you to do anything bad, we can still try and go back to our home. Livia had a little idea about her condition, but she did not want to burden Lucas with it her whole life. I know, just get some good sleep, he said, and then left Livia alone to go to his room to sleep. As Arthur and Sylvie were busy today and would come home tomorrow, Asher decided it would be better to inform them in person about the twins. He would have much more freedom and his actions would go unnoticed when his parents' attention was directed to the twins. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Amelia. A young man called out to a beautiful girl with long black hair tied in a ponytail. I have booked our flights, but do you really want those three to come with us? The young man asked the girl. Damien, they were our classmate this semester, and making a connection with Eva Williams and Elena Rothschild doesn't sound bad, does it? Amelia told him. You are inviting them to Asher's party. I don't know if he will like them knowing Kevin's personality, too. Damien knew that his best friend Asher disliked such people. Brother will just ignore them, just like he ignores me as well. Amelia scoffed, but there was a hint of frustration in her voice. His personality is a bit cold, but it doesn't mean he hates you, Amelia, Damien tried to convince her. Yeah, you will support your best friend anyway, Amelia said, and left Damien standing behind, scratching his head and not knowing how to respond to her. Arthur and Sylvie arrived together at the Greville estate after long days of work. I'm fed up with all this paperwork. It's a waste of my talent, Arthur said while driving his car with Sylvie by his side. He liked driving his own car every once in a while to cure his boredom. What a battle freak, Sylvie sighed. What do you mean, freak? Arthur gave Sylvie a questioning look. Whatever. By the way, we need to officially announce Asher as the heir to our family, Sylvie told him. Amelia will be a bit upset with this decision, but when she hears about his talent, I hope she'll understand, Arthur spoke. Don't worry, she's a smart girl, and I believe in my kids, Sylvie told him, trying to ease his concerns. Although they knew that Asher's cold nature affected Amelia greatly, they still gave both of their children equal love and could only hope that time would reconcile the two siblings. A white sports car arrived at the Greville estate. Arthur and Sylvie got out and walked towards the common hall. They saw Asher sitting with two kids and were surprised to their core when they saw their eyes and hair. Who are these kids? Arthur asked Asher. Oh, hello Dad. Come here and meet Lucas Greville and Livia Greville, Asher told them with a smirk on his face. Emmy was panicking, seeing Asher and his mischievous words. He had carefully said those words to corner Arthur, who was confused about what was happening. Sylvie was also confused, but she never had any doubts about Arthur's loyalty. Asher, can you explain this properly? Sylvie gave Asher a stern look, indicating that she would not tolerate such jokes. Their Uncle Ivar's kids. I found them while looking for something related to my new company, Asher casually lied, confident that Emmy would not reveal his secret. Before the couple could react. Boom! Ads by Pub Future. What happened? Arthur shouted at the strange explosion that occurred outside. Something crashed into the garden area of the estate, creating a small crater. A bulky man in his 50s could be seen in the middle of the crater. A voice came from the crater. Damn brat. Come out and get ready for an emergency teaching session. Nathan shouted. What the hell is that old man doing? Arthur shouted at the ruined site of the beautiful garden. No, the flowers. Livia screamed in her mind. She really liked the gardens around the mansion, but one of them had just been destroyed. Ha, Emmy. Get the servants to fix this mess after this, Asher told Emmy while going outside to see the ruckus. Nathan was wearing his battle suit and with his huge greatsword, he looked like a mighty commander leading a war. His presence alone exuded so much pressure that Asher told Emmy to shield the kids. They were unawakened and such mana pressure could harm them. Nathan noticed the two kids and took in his pressure to not harm them. But when he saw their eyes, his anger started to emerge and he shouted. You cheating scoundrel. Don't worry Sylvie, I will do my job and end his life. Nathan started walking towards Arthur. Who are you calling a scoundrel, you senile old man? They are Ivar's kids, according to Asher. Arthur spoke before Nathan could start his rampage. Arthur and Sylvie were still shocked by Asher's words and Nathan's expression showed various emotions including shock, grief, and others. Hearing the name of his dead son reignited his memories of the past. Asher, will you explain? Sylvie decided to stop the chaos from escalating further. Asher told them about how his uncle and Arthur's younger brother Ivar Greville had a lover who got pregnant but didn't know how to convey the news to him. At that time, she received the news of Ivar's death and, in her moment of grief, took her unborn kids and sought refuge outside of Soren. He explained the story that Lucas had told him the day before. Nathan was silent the whole time and Arthur and Sylvie had sad expressions. Ivar was the youngest person to become an SS rank hunter. His talent was even slightly greater than his father and older brother Arthur. The world thought that he would become the youngest to reach SSS rank within the next 10 years. Smiling face casual date is just a click away. But when Asher was around 3 years old, an SS rank Red Gate dungeon was formed in the city of Soren. It was a highly unstable dungeon that could have resulted in a dungeon break. At this time, Nathan and other SSS rank hunters were clearing the SSS rank dungeon that appeared in the Lost Lands. Most of the SS rank hunters of Somaria, including Arthur, had followed them to clear it. SSS rank dungeons were one-time dungeons, but if they were not cleared within a certain time, the resulting dungeon break could have caused a lot of destruction in Somaria. Ivar was one of the SS rank hunters left behind in Soren. The SS rank Red Gate dungeon had the unbelievable restriction of only allowing one person to enter. There were some other SS rank hunters in Soren as well, but nobody wanted to undertake what seemed like a suicide mission. If nobody stepped up, the dungeon break would have destroyed a significant part of Soren. Dungeon breaks were not just monsters getting out. The result of a gate breaking was a huge mana explosion, depending on the rank of the dungeon, and then monsters came out of the space cracks where the dungeon gate was located. In the history of SS rank dungeons, it was the first time a Red Gate dungeon with a restriction limit of 1 appeared. Red Gate dungeons were also a one-time clear dungeons which will disappear in some hours after the dungeon boss was killed. Ivar Greville took it upon himself to clear that dungeon and entered, but the boss of the dungeon was a 9-headed SS rank Hydra. Although Eva cleared the dungeon, the injuries and poison took his life soon after he exited the dungeon. His right hand was gone, with his skin having numerous purple veins and most of his back having its skin ripped off. He was hailed as a hero by the association, but when Nathan and Arthur heard this news, they were devastated. Losing Eva was a huge blow to the Greville family and the whole world, as he was a talent never seen before. Even though he couldn't beat Nathan's awakening foundation, as he missed it by 5 minutes, his speed of ranking was the highest in the world. The twins were anxious as no one was talking and the long silence increased their worry. They were worried if they would also be accepted as family, like Asher did. Nathan noticed the twins' anxiety and spoke up. "Hello, you cute brats. I am your grandfather Nathaniel von Greville, and also one of the strongest people in the world," he smiled as he introduced himself. Although he was very old, due to his high rank, his aging was much slower than others. He looked like a fit man in his 50s. "Hello, I am Lucas, and this is my sister Livia," Lucas spoke while Livia just nodded from Emmy's arms. "Both of you are so cute," Sylvie spoke as she looked at the twins. Arthur and Nathan then talked further with the twins, telling them about Ivan and how he died heroically. They also noticed that Livia was quite weak and ill, but they thought they would just take her for a checkup tomorrow. Sylvie became attached to Livia and placed her on her lap, stroking her hair. Livia accepted Sylvie's embrace, as she felt quite comfortable with her. "I need all of your attention," Asher spoke, stopping the chatting group. "We need to cure Livia, as she is suffering from mana poisoning, and from the looks of it, it's already in its last stage," Asher told them. Contemporary romance. "What?" Arthur stood up from his seat, and the rest of them were shocked as well. Mana poisoning meant that a person forcefully ingested a lot of mana in their body. The mana would not pass through the Quran, instead, the unrefined mana corrupted the mana veins all over the body. This method usually did boost one's strength and power, but there was no cure for corrupted mana veins. "Her condition is serious. No doctor can save her now," Asher continued. "But how did an unawakened being get mana poisoning?" Sylvie asked while looking at Livia, who was sitting on her lap listening to the conversation going on. She was very scared when she heard that no doctor could cure her. Seeing the panicking Livia, Asher explained the cure before explaining the cause of her disease. "But we can use our family treasure, the rank SSS Pure Healing Elixir, which was given to us for Uncle Eva's contribution," Asher explained to them. "Why are you so sure that we cannot heal her through normal means?" Arthur was not sure how Asher knew about her illness. "She is suffering from mana poisoning," Asher told them. "But how? She hasn't even gone through her awakening yet," Sylvie spoke this time. Nathan was quiet the whole time. He was observing Asher as, somehow, his grandson seemed a bit different from what he remembered last time. "It's due to her bloodline. I already sensed it because of my bloodline ability," Asher spoke without showing any emotions. "She was subconsciously absorbing the mana, but rather than forming a mana core, it's corroding her body. The only reason I could sense it was because my current rank is low and my mana-controlling bloodline can sense such small disturbances around me," Asher told them. Contemporary romance. Arthur could now accept the reason for why Asher knew about Livia's illness. The Greville family mainly had mana-related bloodlines, one of the most coveted bloodlines in the world. But when a person was born with a strong bloodline, they may suffer from such implications. Usually, this problem could have been sensed early if Livia had been living with the Grevilles from a very young age. But the circumstances made it inevitable. It seems like the only explanation for her illness," Nathan finally spoke after carefully assessing Livia's body with his mana sense. "Her mana veins are utterly damaged, and if we don't use the elixir on her, she will become a crippled person," he gave his judgment on the matter. "Then we should use the elixir on her. It was due to Eva's contribution that we even got it, and his daughter deserves at least this much from us," Sylvie spoke instantly while still patting her lovingly. Others in the room also nodded their heads, listening to her, and easily agreed. They would have used it on her even if it was not Eva's contribution that got them this elixir. Although there were only 4 more such elixirs in the world, 3 were under the World Association, and 1 belonged to the Mage Association. Rank SSS items or artifacts could only be achieved as a first clear reward for clearing rank SSS dungeons, which were not so many in this world. And sometimes the World Association would take custody of them because of their higher contribution during the raid. Arthur, open the family vault, Nathan ordered Arthur. Sure. Arthur left them and arrived in his study room and opened a hidden room using his mana. He arrived in a room which had a small teleportation gate. This was the teleportation gate that was connected to the Greville family's hidden family vault, which consisted of their treasures. The only one who knew the coordinates of this hidden facility was Nathan Greville. The treasures hidden here were some of the most powerful ones, and some of them were even hidden from the knowledge of others. The room seemed like an enclosed building with no visible entrance. The only way out was most likely the teleportation gate used by Arthur. He arrived in front of a vault that was 5 meters huge and was encrypted with a blood seal rune. He took a dagger out of his space storage and dripped a few drops of blood on it. Multiple parts of the vault started moving, making mechanical sounds. The door revealed an opening which Arthur got in through. Immediately, many high-graded treasures could be seen enclosed under rigid glass frames. Although it looked like you could break these glasses with normal attacks, they were also strengthened with mana. Ads by Pub Future. He arrived at a corner and saw a small golden vial. This was the rank SSS Pure Healing Elixir. He took it out and left the vault area, returning to his study room. When he came back, he saw Nathan and Sylvie chatting with the twins, who were getting more comfortable with them. Asher saw his father coming down with a golden vial in his hand. He saw his chance and spoke, "Dad, can I see the elixir for a minute?" He asked Arthur. "Sure. Take it." Arthur passed the elixir to him. "System, can you create a copy of this item without alerting others in the room?" Asher spoke in his mind. "Yes, but the created copy will be stored inside the system's dimension storage if the host doesn't want to alert others." "Can I access it anytime?" he asked in his mind. "Yes, but you need to unlock the shop function fully, which will be unlocked when the host reaches level 10 and gather at least 10,000 fate points." "Okay, do it," Asher gave his confirmation. A bluish-green light enveloped the elixir for a moment while going unnoticed by everyone in the room. Ping. Less than item duplicate. Used greater than. Here you can have it. Asher passed it back to Arthur. Arthur took the vial and passed it to Livia, who was staring at the pretty bottle. Lucas was already thinking about the enormous worth of that small vial. He knew about item ranks and how expensive they were, but he didn't know what the worth of the small item would be. He was already thinking of ways to repay the Greville family for this. Lucas was a cruel and clever man, but if his family was involved, he would become the most docile and kind person you could think of. He was already seeing the Grevilles as his family. "Don't worry, drink it and you'll be fine," Sylvie told Livia while assuring her. "But is it fine for me to use it?" Livia knew that whatever the small thing was, she and her brother could never afford it in their lives. "Don't worry about such things from now on. You are a part of our Greville family and carry this name with pride from now on," Nathan spoke to Livia to assure her. She took the vial in her hand and Sylvie opened it for her. She drank it immediately. The taste of this elixir was like sweet nectar, which calmed her thoughts down. Some blue mana started forming around Livia and entered her body. Her body slumped into Sylvie's hands. "Don't worry, she'll wake up tomorrow," Sylvie calmed Lucas, who panicked seeing her unconscious. "Mom, I'm going back to my room and probably won't join dinner, so carry on without me," Asher spoke. "Where are you going, brat? I heard you beat my record during your awakening." Nathan stopped him from going. He still sensed something was wrong with Asher, so he decided to have a talk with him. Yes, I did, but I'm quite busy right now. We can speak later. Asher ignored him and kept moving to his room. And you said this brat of yours was missing me. Nathan spoke while veins were popping in his forehead. But he couldn't do anything to Asher because Sylvie was sitting right there. He's just tired, let him rest, old man. Arthur just shrugged Nathan. This damn brat, follow me to the training grounds. Nathan dragged Arthur with him. Sylvie took Livia to her room and sat there with Lucas to listen to his story. He narrated his deeds without omitting anything. Sylvie just stared at him and hugged him. Lucas found the warmth of Sylvie comforting. This made him remember his mother, and tears started dripping down his eyes. The night went by peacefully, and Asher left early for his training. He came out in the evening and saw that Livia was now awake and her face was not pale anymore. The rank SSS elixir didn't have any side effects, as normal potions and healing elixirs were deadly to unawakened people. Direct consumption of mana was deadly to normal humans. That's why Asher said only the rank SSS elixir could heal Livia, as any other healing elixir would not help her at all. Although her body was still weak, her mana veins had been healed and she could now awaken normally like others. Asher came into the room, drenched in sweat but still looking incredibly handsome. Some of the maids even gulped upon seeing him. His charm was deadly to the opposite gender, but he didn't care about how others viewed him. Asher, Amelia is coming back in a few days. Make sure to clear your schedule on the day her plane lands, Arthur told him, and Asher just nodded. But before he could go back to his room, Nathan appeared in front of him suddenly and looked at his eyes. Why does his presence keep tingling my instincts? He thought to himself. My dear grandson, why don't you come train with me? Nathan asked him. Not now, but if you agree to train me for 2 weeks straight after my party, I might change my mind, Asher said as he kept moving past him. But, I need to go back to work, Nathan tried to persuade him. That's a shame. Can't be helped then, Asher shrugged indifferently. Nathan sighed, seeing his grandson's behavior. He was worried about Asher and, knowing his personality, he was concerned that things could go wrong in the future given his overwhelming talent during his awakening. Why don't you take some rest and train him as well? Sylvie tried to intervene between the two. Arthur, still sore from his beating the previous day, was already planning his revenge. He wouldn't interfere between them, but he tried to provoke Nathan by saying, Don't worry Asher, I can train you better than his old bones and his senile mind. He ignored Nathan's obvious reaction. No need. Fine, I'll train him for 2 weeks. Nathan couldn't help but accept Asher's proposal. Nearly a week has passed, and Livia was fully cured now. Although she will still go through many checkups for confirmation. Today was the day when Asher was going to pick up Amelia and her friends. Status. Asher called out to look at his updated status information. Fate Devourer System. Name, Asher von Ravengrevel. Level, 7, EXP 0, 7000. Bloodline, Devil's Absorption Rank SSS. Blessing, Goddess of Time, Sealed. Body Constitution, Mana Core Rank A. Shop Quests. Synthesis. Attributes. Strength, 32. Agility, 27. Endurance, 40. Intelligence, 55. Mana, 45. Stamina, 40. Charm, 57. Fate, 3230. AP, 30. SP, 12. He decided to not use any attribute points until he felt it was necessary. He was sure he would break through to early F rank, i.e. F rank after his training with Nathan. And he was planning to use his skill points after getting a couple more skills. Asher was moving towards his Rolls Royce and saw Lucas and Livia staring at his car collection. After staying in the mansion for a week, they were quite comfortable and relaxed in their new environment. Big brother, can we also ride these cars? Livia asked Asher while Lucas was also looking at him waiting for his response. One of Ash's hobbies was his car collection, although he couldn't drive it until he turned 17, but he still liked collecting many supercars. Smiling face casual date is just a click away. Ads by Pub Future. Not today, but when we go hunting after your awakening, then we can ride them, Asher told them without showing any emotions. The twins were already accustomed to his indifferent reaction and knew that his behavior was the same for everyone, not just them. Okay, the twins said together and went back in with their assigned mates. Let's go. Asher signaled Emmy and they got in their cars with the security following them. They were moving towards Soren Airport. It was 10 a.m. in the morning, and Amelia's flight would land at 11 a.m. Arriving at the airport, Asher decided to wait in the VIP lounge. People saw him and couldn't help but get astonished seeing his charm. Many women were thinking of approaching him, but the security around him and his indifferent face made them think against it. Wow, look at that guy, he's so handsome. Some people started muttering among themselves. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Meanwhile, in the VIP section of a private jet, a black-haired girl with beautiful red eyes could be seen sitting with a brown-haired guy facing three people who were enjoying the delicacies in front of them. Amelia, you really hate traveling by teleportation gate? The blonde-haired girl asked the black-haired girl. I don't hate it, but I would rather enjoy my ride back to my country than arriving back in an instant, Amelia said holding her cold drink. Yes. Those inter-country teleportation gates really give me a headache and dizziness. I really dislike that feeling, and traveling like this is much calmer, the blue-haired girl spoke while putting down her book. Oh, seeing you reading books all day, I didn't think you would like this sort of thing, Eva, the brown-haired boy spoke while mocking her. Damien. Amelia frowned at him, but Damien just shrugged her giving his, can't be helped, look. Now. Let's calm down everyone, no need to fight, the white-haired boy spoke, he looked handsome and his blue eyes really complimented his face. Kevin is right guys, let's enjoy the ride, the blonde-haired girl spoke again. I would have enjoyed it, Elena, if only he was as polite as Kevin, Eva told her. Her comment really annoyed Damien as he didn't like the goody shoes acts of Kevin. He wanted to travel back alone with Amelia, but she told him they should bring Elena, Eva, and Kevin with them as well. He tried to reason with her, but ultimately gave up and agreed on the matter. So Miss Eva thinks of me as someone polite. I see, Kevin flirted with Eva, which made Damien even more uncomfortable, but he would not intervene unless it was Amelia. Eva ignored Kevin, but a tinge of red could be seen on her ears. Should we explore Soren with Amelia? Elena voiced her opinion. They were coming to Soren to explore the city before their term in World Academy would begin in the next year. Yes, we could. Before Amelia could finish her sentence, Damien interrupted her. I don't think this would be possible. Amelia is also meeting her family after 2 years of studying. You should not interrupt her reunion, Damien rudely spoke to Elena. He disliked all three of them and did not want them to spend more time with Amelia. Don't you think the decision lies on Amelia? Who are you to tell us all this? Kevin replied back at Damien. Although Amelia was a year younger than everyone present, but due to her excellent performance from a young age, she entered together with people older than her. Her childhood friend and Damien was going to speak again, but Amelia stopped him. Let's not argue more. The flight is about to land and we can discuss more after we land in Soren. Hearing her, Damien could not argue more with Kevin, who gave him a smirking look. Asterisk 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 asterisk. It was 11:10 a.m., so Asher got out of the VIP lounge to pick up Amelia. He saw a group of youngsters coming towards them with some security around them. He could recognize every single person in that group. And seeing this sight, a slight wave of killing intent slipped from him for a very small interval, but he reeled it in before anybody could notice it. Smiling face casual date is just a click away. The group of youngsters was full of attractive people, and people around them were already staring at them. They were attracting so much attention that it was difficult for Asher to not spot them. Amelia saw an incredibly handsome young man with hair and eyes similar to hers. She immediately recognized Asher, and Damien, who also noticed his best friend, said, "Oh, I didn't expect Asher to come himself to pick you up, Amelia." He was surprised to see Asher deviate from his indifferent behavior in the past. Although Amelia didn't voice it, she was also happy to see him pick her up. She always thought Asher hated and disliked her. Maybe he changed after 2 years I didn't see him, she spoke in her mind. "Yo, Ash. Long time no see." Damien held out his hand to shake hands with him. "You still look as energetic as ever," Asher said as he shook hands with him. "You've grown well in the 2 years since I last saw you," Asher told Amelia. "Why yes," Amelia replied softly. "And these are your friends." Asher gestured towards the trio behind her. All three of them were surprised to see Asher. His devilishly handsome face coupled with his cold, crimson eyes was enough to attract any woman. He was even more handsome than Kevin, who was also surprised and a bit jealous of his charm. Listening to Asher's words, the three of them woke up from their stupor. Facing his indifferent face, even Elena, who was the most confident of the three, was tongue-tied for a second, but she still spoke. "Pleasure to meet you. I am Elena Rothschild and these are my friends, Eva Williams and Kevin Whiteheart." She introduced herself and her friends. "The pleasure is mine, Miss Rothschild," Asher said with an indifferent face. "I would like to take my time chatting with all of you, but I am a bit busy, so I will take Amelia home." He continued, "I've already prepared rides for the three of you, and they will take you to the hotels I've booked for your group." He gestured to his security to take care of them. "What? Why would they stay at some hotels? They can come back and stay at our estate with us," Amelia protested. Elena, Eva, and Kevin were a bit provoked by his words. They were not normal people, all three of them belonged to elite families. Hearing that they had to stay at some hotel, they felt annoyed, but they waited for Amelia to fix the situation, believing that she could persuade her brother. "Do I need to repeat myself?" A wave of chillness rose in the surroundings as Asher sent a cold gaze towards Amelia. She was scared seeing his eyes and couldn't utter a single word, but she gathered her courage and said, "But they are my friends," and, before she could finish, Asher signaled to his security to take their luggage. "I have said my piece, and this is the last time I will say it. Don't make me repeat myself." Asher's cold and indifferent face stopped Elena from speaking. Tears formed in Amelia's eyes, and her head dropped towards the ground. Damien found Asher's behavior extra cold today, as he had never been this harsh towards Amelia in the past. So, he decided to talk to him later about this. "You are being too harsh on her," Kevin said to Asher after seeing Amelia just looking down in front of him. Hearing him, Asher arrived in front of Kevin. Kevin was a bit shorter than Asher, so he was forced to look up, but seeing his red eyes, he subconsciously took a step back. Elena and Eva were behind Kevin, but they also felt fear from him seeing Asher so close to them. "How I handle things in my family doesn't concern the Whiteheart family," his voice was full of coldness. Kevin was about to swing at him. Everyone knew that Greville's young master was an unawakened individual and he was not going to lose face in front of Elena and Eva. Seeing him channeling his mana, Emmy immediately moved behind him and put him on the ground. The other security guards were also behind the security team following the trio. They were also blocked from making any moves. Seeing Kevin pinned on the ground, Elena immediately shouted, "Contemporary romance. How dare you harm him?" Elena was about to continue, but stop, Amelia shouted, tears in her eyes. Let's go back home, she said, moving to sit in the Rolls-Royce belonging to Asher. Asher signaled for the security team to release them. Emmy, let him go. And Miss Elena, I recommend you go to your accommodations quietly instead of causing a commotion here. Asher said, before turning to Damien, who was slightly happy to see Kevin being put in his place. Let's go, Asher said to Damien, who calmly followed him and sat in the car. This is only the start, I will end every bastard who stood against me in the past. Asher smirked while entering the car. Ping, a system notification popped, but Asher ignored it and decided to check it later. Seeing Amelia and Damien leaving with Asher, the security also followed them. But Asher still left some of his team behind to take the trio to their hotels if they wanted to. Elena was burning with anger inside her. As the only daughter of the Rothschild family, nobody had ever threatened her like this before. But she held her anger in and looked at Kevin with a worried face. Kevin, are you alright? Elena helped Kevin get up. Yeah, don't worry, I am fine, Kevin spoke with his eyes full of anger as he wiped the dust from his clothes. As a member of the Whiteheart family, which had recently become an elite family, he had never thought that he would be humiliated like this. Seeing his emotions, Eva immediately tried to calm them down. Let's not do anything rash. The influence of the Greville family is very strong in Somalia, especially in Soren. Seeing her explanation, Kevin calmed down a bit. Yes, Eva is right, Kevin. We should talk to our families about this incident before doing anything, Elena said while holding Kevin's hands. Okay, but that guy was too cruel. Amelia will only suffer with him, Kevin said while looking at Elena. We cannot interfere in their family, Kevin, and we only met Amelia this last month during our last year group assignment. She may not like us interfering with their family matters, Eva tried to reason with Kevin. Kevin wanted to say something but he got interrupted before he could speak. Let's move from here. People are gathering here because of the commotion earlier, Elena said and pulled both Eva and Kevin along. Tell your young master that we don't need his accommodations, Elena said to one of the bodyguards Asher left behind to take them to their hotel. Victor, book a place for us to stay, Elena said to her personal bodyguard. He nodded at her request and went to make the arrangements for their travel. In the meantime, the three of them decided to stay in the lounge to relax their minds. The three of them attracted some people curious gazes towards them, but people didn't react for Kevin the same as Asher. As Asher, who despite being 13, looked like a 16-year-old because of his height and boosted growth due to his awakening, Kevin looked like a 15-year-old because he was smaller and looked more like a child than Asher. Asher's cold and indifferent face also gave an aura of maturity around him that attracted people to him. Asterisk 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 asterisk. In the black and gold Rolls-Royce, Amelia was sitting with her head down, and Asher did not speak anything to break the silence. So, Damien decided to question Asher to help Amelia a bit. Ash, I know you don't like being bothered, but you still should have given them some face. All three of them are from elite families, and this might bring trouble for you later in the future. Although he liked the treatment Kevin got, he still knew the repercussions of such actions. Ads by Pub Future. You think I don't know this? I know. But I cannot allow any outsiders on our estate at this moment, Asher spoke without looking at Damien. Amelia's ears perked up a little, listening to Asher's reason, although she wanted to ask why, but she didn't want to talk with Asher at this moment. What, something bad happened? Damien spoke immediately. He was curious why Asher answered in such a way. No, nothing like that, you will soon realize what I am talking about. Asher gave an indifferent look at Damien. And Amelia, I don't know how you wasted your years studying at your academy, but it seems you still don't have any sense of who to make friends with and who not to, he reprimanded Amelia in a cold voice. Come on, don't be harsh on her. Although I also dislike the three of them, they are not that bad, right? Damien was trying to mediate between the siblings, but every effort was going down the drain. Amelia wanted to cry at Ash's scolding, but she held her tears in. I know how to judge people, Amelia spoke in a low voice. And you want me to believe it after seeing all that? Do you think bringing those three with you on your private flight, favors will arise of Greville being friendly with other elite families? Asher told her with his indifferent voice. His manner of speaking was hurting Amelia even more, but she still thought about what he just said. And did you even think that this behavior of yours could become an excuse for our countless enemies to join forces with each other to counter us? His words were true. Amelia herself realized her mistake. I am sorry, Amelia was about to cry, and Damien saw this and he could not handle it. Ash, it's enough. Why do you keep scolding her? And was there a need for you to embarrass her in front of her friends? He tried to question Asher. Although he knew slightly why Asher would react like this, he did not know why he didn't want them to not be back in the derivatives. Sigh. Only because of you I am leaving her alive. Asher thought in his mind. The only reason he even tried to bother getting Amelia away from those three was because of Damien. If Damien did not have an unrequited love for Amelia, his actions would not be this soft for her. You will realize when we get home why I didn't want to take them with us. And stop annoying me if you want to impress her. Asher did not even bother looking at Damien, who was slightly red because of being caught off guard by Asher. Even the half-depressed Amelia was looking up to see Damien's reaction. Cute, she thought as she was distracted by Damien's act. She was also slightly aware of Damien's interest in her, but she did not want to break their friendship, so she decided to simply ignore it. The rest of their time reaching the Greville estate was full of silence. Nobody spoke a word after this. The car reached the mansion and they arrived in front of it. Straighten your facial expression, if you don't want to make a spectacle of yourself, Asher told Amelia while getting out of the car before her and Damien. Here, take my handkerchief and wipe your eyes. Damien handed it to her, and she obliged, wiping her slightly puffy eyes and applied some light makeup quickly on her face. Smiling face casual date is just a click away. She did not know what was waiting for her inside, but she did not want to embarrass herself anymore. Amelia was a very prideful person, but this pride of hers did not work on Asher, who was like a small walking trauma for her. Asher waited for both of them to come out and decided to check his system notification. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Less than quest completed greater than. Objective 1. Have a bad impression on Kevin, Elena and Eva. 2. Humiliate Kevin Whiteheart or intimidate him. Reward 500 fate points. Asterisk 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 asterisk. This was the quest he accepted when he was waiting in the lounge at the airport. So now I have 3,730 fate points, still quite far from 10,000 points, Asher spoke in his mind. Ping. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Less than quest issued greater than. Objective. Make enemies with 3 elite families or hurt Elena Rothschild. Reward. 2000 fate points. Time limit. 1 week. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Do you want to accept this quest, YN? 1 week it seems the birthday party will be more fun for me now. Asher smirked, contemporary romance. Yes, he said while accepting the quest and saw Amelia who was now coming out from the car with Damien beside her. Amelia emerged from the car, with Damien by her side. Her expression was blank, but the light makeup slightly concealed her puffy eyes. Although she intended to snitch on Asher to their parents, she decided to conceal it for now, as there was a guest in the mansion. Asher signaled for both of them to follow him and turned towards the living room area of the mansion. They passed through many servants who greeted Asher and the 2 people behind him. Although Amelia had been away for 2 years, most of the servants recognized her face. It was rare for the Greville family to hire new servants. To lower the chances of having a spy in the mansion, the Greville family usually allowed the families of their employees to live in their own accommodation on their huge estate, which was half a kilometer in size. They arrived at the living room and saw 2 small 10-year-olds with their parents. Nathan was absent this time, as he was busy with his regular training routine. They were surprised to see the 2 kids, but what shocked both of them was their eye color and hair. What? Who are these kids? Amelia had multiple thoughts crossing her mind. Damien, on the other hand, was waiting for someone to explain the situation to him. It's a long story, but they are the kids of your Uncle Ivor, and Asher found them, Arthur decided to clarify before his daughter came to some strange conclusion. Sylvie just chuckled, seeing Arthur. What? Uncle Ivor had kids? Damien shouted. Yeah. Let me explain. Sylvie decided to explain the whole story to them. Damien's presence was not really a bother to them. Damien's full name was Damien Seymour, and his family, although not elite, was still a powerful family. The Seymours were close friends with the Grevilles, as Arthur and the Seymours' head were classmates and best friends when they were young. Damien would frequently visit and play with Amelia and Asher. Although Asher ignored him most of the time, he found a balance where Asher was not irritated by his presence, and he could still spend some time with him. Due to Damien's lack of nosiness, Asher eventually accepted him as a friend. During Sylvie's explanation, the twins also judged Amelia and Damien. They had already been informed of who these 2 were, and Lucas and Livia wanted to make a good impression on them as well. Asher, on the other hand, was on his phone the entire time, checking information for his new company, Aztec, and other complicated matters. Oh, they must have suffered so much, Amelia said, her eyes watering as she listened to the story of the twins. Despite her persona of being indifferent, which she copied from Asher, deep down she was a very emotional girl. Damien knew that she intentionally hid her true self and always wore a fake mask, but he decided not to question her about it. Livia was excited to meet Amelia, but Lucas felt somewhat uncomfortable around her. This was not the case with Damien or anyone else in the room. He couldn't think of a reason why he felt this way, but the discomfort was small enough that he could ignore it. Damien was sitting between Asher and Amelia. He saw Amelia get up and move towards the twins to hug them. Amelia didn't remember much about her Uncle Ivor, but she decided in that moment, upon hearing their story, that she would treat them like her own siblings. Deep down, she wanted another sibling to converse with, as Asher was obviously not an option for her. This situation was ideal for her. Asher also knew that this way, Amelia was least likely to follow the previous path, and he would not have to kill her, as Damien would most likely resent him for doing so. As long as she doesn't interfere with my path, she will live, but the moment she comes in my path, forgive me, old friend, but she would have to die, Asher thought in his mind while glancing at Damien and Amelia and remembering his past. His killing intent was about to break out, but he reeled it in quickly. Ads by Pub Future. These days, Asher was having a hard time killing people. His inner madness was driving him down a path of slaughter. These symptoms have begun again, Asher said to himself. But he knew the cure for his unstable emotions going haywire, and he would have to wait at least until he joined the academy. We need to introduce their existence to the world carefully, Arthur said with a serious face. Amelia now knew why Asher had refused to bring her friends here. The chances of information being leaked were too high, and considering others' outlooks on illegitimate children, the twins' lives could experience many troubles in the future. She still didn't forgive him, but her anger was gone. We can introduce them at my birthday party, Asher spoke as he put down his phone. Yes, and they should also go through their awakening as early as possible, Damien spoke after thinking for a while. Although Damien was also 14 years old like Asher, his thought process was a bit higher than his age group, which was one of the reasons he could stay friends with Asher. I was also thinking about this for Lucas, but I want to ask Livia about her thoughts on awakening as well, Sylvie spoke as she patted Livia, who was sitting beside Amelia. I also want to become strong and help Lucas, Livia shouted, clenching her fist. She finally had the chance to support Lucas and didn't want to waste it. Seeing her determination, Lucas decided not to stop her, as getting stronger would help her avoid troubles as well. But you still need to rest at least for a week and get clearance from the doctor before going through awakening. Okay. Sylvie pinched Livia's nose while telling her. Livia nodded at Sylvie's request. Good girl, Sylvie patted her head. But Amelia, did something happen? Your eyes were red when you came in. Sylvie lifted her head towards Amelia and asked her. Asher was not bothered about whether Amelia would lie or not. He didn't care how others, or even his own family, perceived him. They could think of him as a demon and he would still be fine with it. Oh, it was nothing. Just some minor problems. Leave that aside, we should go shopping with Livia and Lucas. Amelia clapped her hands and decided to change the topic. Although Arthur and Sylvie could guess what might have happened, they decided not to interfere right now. They were also troubled by Amelia and Asher's sour relationship. Smiling face, casual date is just a click away. Yes, but you must be tired today. Get some rest and let Damien get some as well. Sylvie decided to go along with Amelia for now, but she would definitely question her later for the truth. Although being a doting mother, she knew frequent scolding was also required in good parenting. Damien also decided not to speak against Asher and not mention the part about him openly making enemies with 3 elite families' children. Yeah, although I also want to chat with you all and I need to leave to meet my family as well, Damien decided to leave Amelia and Asher. And don't worry, nobody will know about their existence until Asher's birthday party. Although he knew they trusted him, he still decided to assure them nevertheless. Don't worry, you are like family to us as well, and we trust you enough to send you with Amelia, Arthur spoke while teasing him a little. Damien's ears were red, and he wanted to leave anytime now, contemporary romance. Don't tease him, and Damien, say our greetings to your parents as well, Sylvie spoke while elbowing Arthur, leaving the twins confused by this conversation, but they did not voice it. Damien said his goodbye to them and signaled Asher to follow him outside. Asher, do you have a moment? He asked. Asher nodded and decided to follow him outside. I know your reasons for today's action, but you acted a bit strange. You wouldn't make enemies with them like that normally. He was already noticing something different with Asher. Don't worry about it. It's just that their faces annoyed me. Asher decided to make a random excuse to him. Damien knew he wanted to dodge this topic. Okay, you must have your reasons, but try to be more lenient with Amelia. Damien spoke. And I think you should find another girl, unlike that uncultured fool you've been chasing for years, Asher told him with his indifferent face. Amelia is not uncultured. Damien shouted but stopped immediately and looked around him to see if anyone saw him. Yeah, don't worry about all this. I know what I'm doing, Asher told him and left him. Damien also felt like he couldn't be more pushy with Asher for now, so he decided to leave in the car prepared for him. Author's note: I want to mention that in the first volume, there might be more focus on side characters than necessary. However, this will change in the Academy arc of Volume 2, where Ash's point of view will be the main focus.